Thank you, Alex. First day of early voting saw record turnout in many mid-state counties today. And despite expired mask mandates in a lot of counties and increasing coronavirus cases. Fox 17 News' Nikki Jenowitz live in Brentwood tonight. Nikki, given the concerns around mail-in ballots, some people are telling you it's worth the health risk to go stand in the line.
Yes, Stacy, but for the masks on people's faces, given the incredibly long lines here outside of the Brentwood Library today, you'd really have no idea that we were in the middle of a pandemic. By early this afternoon, Williamson County already reported record-breaking day one early voter turnout. Yes. 5,000 people cast their ballots in Williamson County by 1:30 p.m. That put Williamson County on pace to far exceed 2016, which saw 5,500 for the entire first day of early voting. While many folks doing their time in the line chose to wear masks, they certainly didn't have to. There's no mask mandate here, outside or inside polling locations. Now, we pressed the head of the Election Commission on that this evening. He said legally they can't require it, but many voters chose to play it safe anyway.
I wear a mask everywhere I go. The percentage inconvenience or difficulty or discomfort that this requires of me is minuscule compared to the potential risks I take if I don't wear the mask.
A Fox 17 News fact-checking the claim that it is illegal with constitutional attorney Daniel Horowitz. He says it's not entirely clear, but assuming masks were made available to voters free of charge and assuming appropriate accommodations for anyone who can't wear a mask for a legitimate medical reason, extending a generally applicable mask mandate to polling locations during a pandemic would not pose serious constitutional problems. Now, early voting here continues for another 2 weeks, and I am told that things are usually the busiest the first 2 days and the last 2 days of early voting. So folks out here today had to wait up to 2 hours, and that could continue tomorrow and again at the end of this 2-week-long early voting period.
This evening, Fox 17 News is following some political ad controversy. In an ad that is paid for by Tennessee's Republican Lieutenant Governor's Political Action Committee, they attack a well-known Nashville group called Gideon's Army.
Fox 17 News' Kathleen Cherie has been talking with both sides all day long, back and forth. She joins us live in Nashville now with the very latest.
Well, Scott, Erica, we're about to show you that ad in its entirety. At the very end, it claims that Heidi Campbell sides with extremists. But also keep in mind that Gideon's Army is an organization recognized by the state. They're supporting them with almost $1 million in grant money over 3 years. So why go after them? This is the 30-second ad that debuted this week, paid for by Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally's Political Action Committee. It starts by showing a video of District 20 State Senate candidate Heidi Campbell saying, quote, Gideon's Army is a wonderful organization.
That's Heidi Campbell praising the radical group Gideon's Army. These radicals call for defunding the police, demanding over $100 million be taken away from Nashville police. They endorse looting and rioting of our businesses and neighborhoods and call for revolutionary changes to our way of life.
The ad ends like this.
Heidi Campbell siding with the extremists.
The first person I reached out to today was McNally's media contact, asking why this ad portrayed Gideon's Army the way it did. He sent us to the Senate GOP caucus political director and MC PAC political consultant. She sent us a statement attributable to her. Quote, this is a group that has radicalized over the last several months. Heidi Campbell has continued to double down, knowing that they have called for defunding the Nashville Police Department. This is a radical position Republicans, independents, and Democrats reject. She is out of step with the district and sides with extremists, end quote. Next, we reached out to Heidi Campbell, and she agreed to an interview.
This is such an ugly attack, and it shows how absolutely out of touch the supermajority is with everyday families.
Campbell says she has never called for the defunding of police.
Gideon's Army is an amazing group that is working to reduce violence in our communities, and I think the idea of defunding the police is an unfortunate choice of terminology, because I know very well that what they mean is that resources need to be allocated to services that help and protect our communities so that the police are not constantly dealing with domestic issues and things like that.
We reached out to members of Gideon's Army today for reaction, but they declined to comment at this time. Now, he's not named specifically in this political ad, but Steve Dickerson is the current Republican senator for District 20 who Heidi Campbell is running against. So we reached out to his legislative contact for a comment on this story. She told us that someone directly from his campaign would reach back out to us, but we never got a call back.
Thank you. Happening now, Fox 17 News investigates the Mid-State's zip code with the highest COVID-19 fatality rate. 37218 in North Nashville does not have the most cases in the county, but those who live in this area code are at the highest risk of dying. Fox 17 News' Kathleen Jacob now to explain what's driving these numbers.
This is the data on the Davidson County COVID-19 dashboard. You can see they break it down by age, gender, race, ethnicity, and zip code. And look right here, you can see 37218, highest fatality rate in the county. The area is home to almost 15,000 people in Nashville. Almost 76% of them are African American. While this area's COVID-19 case number is only 627, the fatality rate is the highest in all of Davidson County at 1.93%. I spoke with Dr. Sheree Farmer-Dickson, who runs all of the free testing Meharry Medical has been putting on for Nashville. She says, unfortunately, people of color are disproportionately impacted by some of the underlying conditions that make this virus so deadly, like diabetes, asthma, Lyme disease. She says she and her team have been partnering with African American churches to do weekend testing to try and get more accessibility to this population.
We were very strategic with making certain that we were in communities throughout the city that had high populations of people of color, recognizing that those are the communities that are being significantly impacted.
We also reached out to the mayor's office to see what they're doing to offer support to this community. They responded with a statement saying in part that they remain concerned about how the pandemic is impacting the African American community, and they pointed to the $18.5 million that's being distributed, in part in accordance to the Our Fair Share Needs Assessment, which was a partnership between the mayor's office and the Equity Alliance. Meharry Medical College is doing more testing this Saturday. It will be at Lee Chapel AME Church.
Happening now in the Path Forward, we are taking a live look right outside of the Metro Public Schools office. 2 rallies are taking place there ahead of tonight's Metro School Board meeting. Now, one group of demonstrators are parents who are pushing for a return to in-person learning, but on the other hand, the other group are teachers and their supporters who say it's still too early to have in-person learning, and in fact, they say more resources need to be devoted towards virtual learning. Fox 17 News' Kathleen Sheree. She has been busy speaking with parents and also teachers, and you also had a chance to get some information from the Metro School Board Chair, correct, Kathleen?
That's right, Erica. We're going to hear from her and parents and teachers in just a few minutes. But tonight we know there are around 40 people signed up to speak at Metro's school board meeting. This comes just 2 weeks after the Cora House School had to be placed under quarantine because of several positive COVID-19 cases. But today, Metro still moved forward with their phased-in reopening plan, pre-K through second graders returning to the classroom. So we wanted to know if tonight's school board meeting is going to change any of the current plans. Christy Mayo is a Nashville mother of 2. Her 4th grader and high school junior are both enrolled in MNPS. Like we've heard from so many families this year, virtual learning has been a real challenge for them.
It's not a good experience for either one of them, and both of them have told me that they don't feel like they're learning anything at all.
That's why Mayo and a group of parents are asking the school board to let parents attend sporting events and phase high school students back to in-person learning before the end of the year.
I'm not overly concerned about them contracting the virus. I'm actually more concerned about how the lack of in-person school is going to permanently affect their educational situation and their opportunities for the future.
Amanda Kale is president of the Metro Nashville Education Association.
It's just not safe right now, and I think the problem is that we're asking teachers to choose between the needs of students and their own health and safety.
Tonight, her group of teachers and supporters are presenting a petition for significant changes, like smaller class sizes and each teacher's ability to not return to the classroom. If those things aren't possible, they want MNPS to invest more in virtual learning to improve the experience for everyone. Metro School Board Chair Christian Buggs says while they're welcoming the public input, there are no formal votes or changes to the current plan on the agenda tonight.
as a full-time working parent, a single mother of a toddler, as a school board member and former teacher, I certainly understand both sides and empathize with both sides. I do think that we are trying to make decisions based on data and making sure that safety is our number one priority.
If everything continues to go according to plan, third graders will return to the classroom next week, fourth graders the week after that, and so on and so forth. But it's still the plan that high school students will not see the inside of the classroom until the beginning of next year.